Welcome everyone, welcome to Bridget's Kitchen. My name is Bridget Davis. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is an extremely, here we go. It is an extremely exciting episode. Well, everything's exciting when it comes to food, right? Especially when you know you're cooking something that's really, really good for your body, that tastes absolutely phenomenal. And that's totally what I love about this dish. This is one of those dishes now we're doing straight from the cookbook. So it's a cook the book cooking class. So straight from Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, my best-selling gut health cookbook. We're cooking directly from this, and the recipe that I'm doing today is on page 90. Look, cemented in my brain, right? In page 90. And we are doing, where are we? Page 90. Now, it's really hard to flip through this book because I keep on stopping at pages going, oh, that looks really good. But we gotta hurry up and get to the recipe we're doing today. This here, as you can see, is my Korean style sticky beef. And I've served it here with pickled cucumbers and fresh cucumbers. So a little fresh salad. I mean, if you're thinking about lunch, this is ideal. And one of the reasons I really like it, and one of the reasons I'm sharing it with you guys today, and by the way, let us know where you are at the moment. Make sure you say hi. Oh, Cheyenne's at school sports day. Well, look at that. You get to watch two things at the same time, Cheyenne, so that's awesome. Thank you for joining me today. So let us know where you are. Let us know what you're doing. I'm currently in my kitchen, and I'm about to cook you guys straight from my best-selling cookbook, Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. And yes, you can still get copies of this because, of course, you know that this is book number 1 and book number 2 is already up for pre-sale. So book number 1, Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, 100 gut healthy recipes to help reset your gut and get you on the right track. Amazing, right? You can order your book, order your copy, and all you gotta do is go to bridgetscookbook.com and get your copy. But today we're doing this Korean style beef, and it's so incredibly simple. It is so incredibly simple. And this is one of the reasons why I really love it. Really love it. Oh, and to Coral, thank you for joining us too. My love, still in Rarotonga, I'm thinking, still over there. But thank you for joining us today. And to Sarah, at work, about to fall asleep. Woo. Hopefully I'll keep you awake a little bit longer, Sarah. I'll do my best, right? Okay, so the recipe today is really simple, and it's one of those recipes that you can prepare quite a long time in advance, so you're not having to rush and fuss and potentially not have something delicious in your pantry or in your fridge ready for you to eat something healthy, as opposed to, you know, feeling a little bit like, oh, I don't know what to choose, so I may go for something, be tempted by something that's not quite as healthy. So this is one of those recipes. It's really good for meal preppers, actually. If you're a meal prepper, if you like to get things really well ahead of time in advance cooked or ready or prepared, this is a recipe for you. So right, page number 90 of the yellow book, Korean style sticky beef. And the reason it is Korean style, because I absolutely adore Korean barbecue. Love it, love it, love it. Just love the marinades that they put onto the meats. Love how it's cooked really quickly so it's still nice and tender. You know, it's one of those eating styles that really aligns with how I feel about food. You know, it's got fresh quality, done, cooked right in front of you. You know, there is they eat lots of seaweed and lots of different types of salads as well. So if you've never been to a Korean barbecue, go. You will not be disappointed. Trust me, it's fabulous. So it's that kind of style of cooking today. You know, it's that fresh and light, really quick. I'm saying 5 minutes. If you've got all your things prepared in advance, it'll take you 5 minutes. Heat up a pan, cook it off. So here we go. Come on down to my bench so you can see what's happening down here. All right, set it up. So it's like I said, it's so simple to prepare. Don't blink during this cooking class because you might miss it. Now, the type of beef you use, and yes, you can use other type of meat. You don't have to use beef. If you don't eat red meat, and I have to be completely transparent here, I don't eat a lot of red meat anymore. It just doesn't seem to agree with me. So it is up to you whether you could do, this is a piece of beef. You could also use lamb. You could use chicken. Totally up to you, but I have to say that beef is pretty nice in this dish. It works really well. And I'll have a few pieces, but I don't go overboard when it comes to red meat anymore. So the type of beef you use is also up to you. Now this is actually, please don't think you have to go out and buy eye fillet, but this is eye fillet. So this is from the spinal cord. So it's a very tender cut of meat. There's hardly any muscle in there, and it's the muscle that makes things quite tough. So you can see there's quite a lot of flesh, hardly any muscle, hardly any connective tissue as well. So it's a very tender cut. You don't have to use eye fillet. This was just something that we had in the fridge. So you can also use rump, which is absolutely fine. You can use anything that you would normally fry, right? Or throw onto the barbie. So use rump, you could use porterhouse, you could use sirloin, completely up to you. You don't have to spend an absolute fortune. You don't have to use a really expensive cut because the marinade is gonna help to give it flavor, and we're cooking it really quickly, so you don't have to worry about chewing through an old boot. But definitely stay away from cuts like chuck steak, and those type of cuts that you would normally use for a stew, because this is a very quick cook dish. So you don't want to have something that's going to be takes really long to cook like a chuck steak. So taken up, and hello to Vicky from Parapara. Thank you for joining us. Right, so got my steak here. I want to make nice thin slices. You're after about, I think for one portion, you're after about 100 grams, which is about 3.5 ounces per person, whoever you're cooking it for. And you've noticed that what I'm doing here is I'm cutting the steak literally paper thin. It's breaking up. I'm cutting it so thin. You want to get it as thin as possible, especially if you're using something like, that isn't the greatest cut of meat, which is, like I said, which is absolutely fine. But if you're using a cut of meat that's not as tender as what I have here, cutting it really thin is going to help eating. And the reason being is because what you're doing when you're slicing it really thin is you're making the fibers really short. And if you've ever eaten a piece of meat and you've gotten something stuck in your teeth, chances are that's the fibers of the meat and they've just gotten stuck in there. But if you're cutting it really thin, you're making really short fibers, so it's going to be a lot more tender when you're eating it, a lot more easier to eat. And also you're going to avoid potentially getting things stuck in your teeth. Oh, hello to Miriam, all the way from Motueka. Miriam, have we had this conversation before that my mum was born in Motueka, which is top of the South Island for anyone who's not familiar with the beautiful area that is Motueka. Yeah, my mum was born there. So there you go. And also we have Kim. Now Kim, I'm not sure I'm going to say this correctly, Inverell, New South Wales. Does that sound right, Kim? Thank you for joining us as well. I hope that I got the pronunciation of your town correct there. Right, beef is done. All we need to do now is marinate it. And this is where the meal prepping really comes into its own. So if you are a meal prepper, you could literally do this, cut all your steak up, get it all ready, take up some of my sticky sauce, marinate your steak. You just need fingers are good here too. Clean fingers, of course. Fingers are good here, so we can really get into the steak there. Marinate your steak, and then pop it into those little plastic baggies, right? Pop it in the freezer. So it's going to be completely ready to go when you take this out of the fridge. You don't have to do anything to it apart from put it in here. So if you are a meal prepper, I'm just going to add a little bit more of that. If you are a meal prepper, this is ideal for you because you get to marinate your steak or your chicken or whatever it is before it goes into your little portion bags, and then pop it in the freezer. That'll last in your freezer for a month to 2 months before you defrost it. So that's a really good thing for your preppers. If you want to eat this soonish, it is ideal that we do allow it to marinate for a little bit of time. So, if you can give it a couple of hours, perfect. If you can give it 24 hours, even better. But if you don't have that sort of time, as long as we've got some flavor on that beef there right now through my sticky sauce, you're going to have a pretty fabulous dish. So the longer we do leave it marinating, and I ideally 24 hours, like you could even throw this on the barbie, right? 24 hours. And hello to PJ. Great entertainment while laid up with a broken leg. Awesome. Wish I could share some of this cook stuff with you, because it must be a little bit difficult to get into the kitchen, right? Thank you for joining us. I hope you get better soon. Okay, so meal preppers, pop it in your bag, pre-portion, weigh it off, in the freezer a couple hours, right? If you want to eat it straight away, you can totally do that. But if you can leave it just for a little bit of time, just like 2 hours, it's going to help the marinade to penetrate through the meat and give it even more flavor. But if you leave it for 24, you're absolutely winning. So if you're thinking about a barbecue this weekend, start marinating your meat tonight and a bit of sticky sauce, and you can go for it. All right, so that's the beef. But tan, here's what I prepared earlier. So these are these little baggies I'm talking about, which ideally fits one portion, right, of beef. It's been in there marinating away. You know, you could have that even in the fridge. It's a great way to actually get the marinade all over the meat because it's stuck in the baggie and it's saving your fingers, which is great. But this has been marinating for a couple of hours now. Ooh, it's smelling really good. It's smelling like sticky sauce, which is always really, really good. So, like I said, this is a quick dish to do. That's already done. We've pre-prepared that. We're going to turn on our little machine here. And I've got my non-stick wok on, turning it on to medium to high temperature. I'm now just going to flip my board over because this is raw meat. I'm going to be cutting something else on there. So I'm going to flip my board over. So now I've got a clean surface to work from. Yeah. Give my knife a bit of a clean. What I'm looking for here is for it to start to sort of almost have a haze coming off it. Then I know it's hot enough. If I were to stick the beef in now, it would stew instead of fry, and that's not what you want to have happen when it comes to cooking meat, you know, unless you're creating a stew, of course. You've got to put it into a hot pan so that it sizzles. And the way you can tell, if you're not seeing a haze, the way you can tell is just to do a test piece. Just get a little piece like that, throw it in. If it sizzles, it's pretty good. I think I want more of a sizzle. I'm going to leave that there for now. If it sizzles, it's good. If you don't get a sizzle, take it back out. Wait for it to heat up a little bit. Wait for it to heat up just a little bit. All right, where's my tongs? There we go. Oh my gosh, it's smelling good already. See, even after a couple of seconds, look what we got. Woohoo! All right, I reckon we're good to go. What you have noticed here is I have not added any oil to the pan. No oil required. There is enough moisture happening in our sticky sauce that I don't have to worry about having to add additional oil in here. So what we're getting is a super duper healthy steak cooking in there right now, Korean style beef. I'm going to add just a sprinkle of salt, not too much, because you know our tamari from the sticky sauce has got a little bit of you know, saltiness to it. But I am going to add a little bit of black pepper because yum, right? A little bit of black pepper. You don't have to add black pepper if you don't want. Completely up to you. So just using my tongs, I'm giving it just a quick little toss. But it doesn't, because they're so thin, they don't need to spend much time in here. In here is probably maximum of 90 seconds. 90 seconds is all it needs to cook through because they're nice and thin, right? Fantastic. Okay, happy with that. Turning the machine off. Noisy machine. Yeah, it's so noisy, that machine. Gosh, I wish someone would invent a portable induction which isn't so noisy. I really do. Okay, here we go. So this is what we have in here. 90 seconds maximum. You saw me just twisting a little bit, but I've taken it off before it overcooks. So it's cooked through. For anyone who doesn't like, you know, raw meat, like medium and stuff, you know, medium rare, it is cooked through because it's so thin, so it doesn't need much time. So I'm just going to leave that to sit there. The next job I have to do, like I said, it's so simple, and we're serving this Korean style beef with pickled and raw cucumbers because I love the crunch. So taking up your little cucumber, I have this wonderful little Lebanese style, or I think they're also called continental cucumbers. I love the little ones because they're lovely and sweet. Very, very tender, and of course we can eat the whole thing. We have to peel it, which is wonderful. So let's cut our cucumber up. A few slices. I just love the colour. You know that's going to be good for you once you get it into your body, right? It's just fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Okay, slicing our cucumbers. You decide how you want to slice them. I'm just doing mine on little angles there, as you can see, but there's nothing stopping you from doing rounds or doing half rounds. Completely up to you. Even if you might even like to do something a little bit sort of almost matchstick-like, well, big matchstick-like like I said, I'll leave that up to you. It really does come down to how you want to present your salad, or what will fit on into your, if you're prepping this, what will fit into your container to take to work or to take to school or wherever, or take down the road. But that is our cucumber. So I'm not sure about you guys, but have you ever tried to just eat like 3 cucumbers? It's not that easy just to eat 3 cucumbers like this. But trust me, using what I have done here with the beef, cutting our cucumbers, and also, you know, getting these lovely sweet cucumbers as well, which is really important. I'm going to be eating literally for my lunch. Well, actually, probably have to fight over it with someone who shall remain nameless, who's probably smelling the beef right now, thinking, "Oh, that's for me." You know, we're going to be eating 3 cucumbers basically. 3 cucumbers, which is not, like I said, it's not high on the agenda of things you would normally get really excited about eating, but I guarantee you, you're going to love this. So what I have here is my cucumber pickles, and of course the recipe is in the book. The recipe is in the book. Sticky sauce, it's all in the book. You need the book because it's really fantastic, and these are my savior. So I always have, as you guys who follow my recipes regularly, you know how much I love pickles, and I love the convenience of the pickles. For me, this is fast food. This is fast food because it's in the fridge. It takes only minutes to make your own pickles, and then you constantly have your jar in the fridge ready for you to dip into to create something absolutely fabulous, absolutely delicious, and totally healthy. Gut healthy. This is a prebiotic. This will help to feed the probiotics in your gut. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that we can start to create something like that. These are only just been pickled this morning, so they'll last in the juice, you know, for a good 2 or 3 weeks. They never last that long because I always eat them. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine the two. So I'm going to take up the plate that I intend to serve on, which looks like this today, and I'm going to make a little salad. Where's my little bowl? I'll get a clean bowl. Make a little salad by mixing together the raw and the pickled cucumbers, because what we're going to get from the pickled is we're going to get lots and lots of flavor. They're also going to be, I think I've got some older ones down here. I want to show you what they look like this. They also are going to give us a really wonderful textural experience. So not only are we getting, ooh, I guess I'm going to use you flop that onto the bench. Not only are we getting this amazing, you know, crunch from the fresh cucumber, but we're also getting a little bit of softness from the raw ones. So you've got this competing textural experience in your mouth, and like, honestly, this is what eating's all about. You know, we're exciting our palate every time we eat. And oh, guess what? It just happens to be healthy as well. You know, it's one of those ones you're like, it tastes really good, but yeah, it's healthy. A little bit of juice just pouring over there. So we've got a little bit of moisture. This is just apple cider vinegar and inulin. These are stuff that you can have in your diet, so you don't have to like count how many tablespoons you're putting in. This is good for your gut health. This is amazing for your gut health. So they're in there. Let's now add a little bit of my friend pepper, because I do like a little bit of pepper. You don't, like I said, you don't have to. Giving it a little bit of a twist again, just to mix up the pickled cucumbers with the raw. And then what I want to start to do is just to lay them out on this lovely little oval plate that I found in a Salvation Army store a couple years ago, which I love. So that's going to go on. But I also want to add more flavor. And the way I'm going to get even more flavor into this is I've got some fresh mint here, picked out of my garden today. You don't have to use mint. You could use basil, which I think the recipe actually calls for basil. But if you don't have any, and it's always fresh herbs, yeah? When it comes to basil, mint, coriander, they are always more effective flavor-wise when we're using them fresh. They're just those types of herbs that benefit greatly from being served fresh, and your belly will love you for it. So, got my layer there. Now I'm going to go to this gorgeous monster that I have waiting for me in the wok, and already, you guys seeing that? Gosh, pull it back a little bit, there we go. Sorry, there we go. Already I have digestive juices flowing. I'm salivating. It is going to be an absolutely fabulous, fabulous lunch. I might share it. We'll see how I feel. I might share it with him. It's been awesome today. Has he shared lots of links? There is the link. Good morning to Debbie. Good morning to Debbie. Yes, if he's shared lots of links with you guys on how you can get the book, then I think I might have to share my lunch with him. I think it's a requirement, right? All right, look at this. We're still going. This can be your lunch. Check it out. I know, right? It's like, are you sure? Like you could literally, if you went to a restaurant and they served you this, you'd be like, yeah, no, that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm good. Right, little pile. Gorgeous little pile. It's all about the presentation too, isn't it? Okay, let's not forget, I've got some juice in there. You have to do this as well. This is important. That is sticky sauce there. You do not want to waste it. You definitely want to get out as much goodness as you can from that wok. That is going to help to bring flavor to your salad as well. I've got a few more little, there they are, a few more little leaves, and I'm going to add on just a little sprinkling on top of those. And look, this is just literally for a bit of color. I'm gonna add a few of those on as well. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, just the smell coming off now. And now I've also got the beautiful smell of these wonderful cucumbers. Okay, a little bit of that goes on around the plate. Don't want to waste any of that gorgeous juice. And the very last thing I'm going to do is just finish it off. This is the chef in me. Just a little bit of seasoning on top, not too much, because remember we've got some pretty good seasoning happening there already. But just like that, within 5 minutes. Okay, yeah, I did kind of fluff around with the presentation, but in 5 minutes, if you have made your pickled cucumbers, they're in your fridge. Remember that takes seconds to make. They're literally a couple minutes is all you need to make your own pickles. You put them in the fridge. They're there, waiting for you always. If you have your beef already sliced and marinated, and you know, either in the fridge or in the freezer, this can be yours in 5 minutes. You get to eat that. I mean, geez, I would be, oh look at all the juice. Can you see why we pour the juice from the wok? I would be in heaven if I got served that at a restaurant. I would be in absolute heaven, and this can be yours in 5 minutes, which is just fantastic. So that was page 90 of the book. Page 90 of the book, Bridgets Healthy Kitchen. We still have copies available. You can totally buy your copy. And I want to give a really big and heartwarming shout out to the Women's Day magazine, who featured me and 5 amazing other ladies in the latest copy of the Australian Women's Day. These amazing women shared their story with the world. And you know what? It can be really daunting to share your story, and they shared their story, and their stories are amazing, because together we lost 153 kilos with zero exercise, and they were the most amazing women who shared their story about their journey, their personal journey to becoming healthier and happier. And I'm so proud to have met these amazing women. There they are. I'm so proud to have met, look how gorgeous they look. So stunning. I'm so proud to have met these amazing women, and for them to share their story, their personal achievement, because they did this. Yes, they used my recipes, and yes, they used my book, and yes, they started to give themselves knowledge of what gut health is, because it's really important. You know, you don't want to be just a bystander in your own life. You want to empower yourself. And these amazing women empowered themselves, and they started to find out what was right in their world. And guess what? Look at them. Look how amazing they look. Amazing, right? So if you don't believe me, check out the latest edition of the Australian Women's Day. It's all about gut health. It's all about how our personal stories and how we managed to overcome how we were feeling, and we did it all on our own with some help from some little recipes. But that's the thing, you know, it's all about sharing. And what I would really love for you guys to do is to share, because that's why I do what I do, because I want to share how good I feel. I want to share how well I'm eating and how much I'm enjoying my food, and I literally don't feel like I'm on a diet. I literally am just living an amazingly delicious and amazingly healthy life with more energy than I've ever had in my life. You know, with more, and I'm happier. Because you know when your gut's healthy, your endorphins, your natural happy hormones are all made in your gut. 90% of your serotonin, which is your happy hormone, is made in your gut. If your gut's dirty, lined with rubbish and, you know, processed food and gluten and sugar and all the things that aren't good for us, when your gut is dirty, your happy hormones can't be produced. So if you're looking at this purely from a depression, anxiety, just feeling low, like you're not in a good mood, guess what? You could be like me, who's always happy now because, well, not always, but I'm like 100 times happier than I was when I was at my heaviest, which was just peaking under 95 kilos. I'm now currently 60 kilos. So do the math, right? Do the math. I feel so much happier. I smile more. And this is what we're sharing here. And why I share here is because this is what helped me to get to that point. And I don't want to get emotional, but it's very true. This is not a diet. This is a lifestyle. This is something that I want to give you guys the tools for life. So you don't yo-yo, because I can't stand that word, yo-yoing. You know, being on so many, and I was that person on so many diets, up and down, lose weight, put it back on, put on more because I had jumped on some stupid fad diet. This is a lifestyle. Sure, you're going to sort out your diet by taking out the things that are not good for our gut health. Remember, when our gut's clean, everything changes. But at the same time, we have to remember that these are skills that we need to learn for life. And every single time you watch a video, I'm hoping you're learning a skill. And you're going to go back to your kitchen and go, I remember when Bridget did, oh, that's right, that's awesome, right? You're learning a skill. Every single time you try one of my recipes and you love it, hopefully you've learned a skill that you didn't have before. So that's something that you will always be able to retain. And that's why I say, please, please, please share the recipes. Share this video. Because what we're doing is we're not just keeping the knowledge to ourselves. We are sharing it with our wider community, with the people we love, with our family, with our friends, you know, with strangers. Because that's what this is all about. This is about sharing and caring and giving, and I will keep on giving to you guys because I feel good and I want you to feel as good as I do. That's where it's at. And by the way, I shared an amazing recipe on Bridget's Kitchen this morning. My gosh, it is the most amazing gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, vegan gravy with mash. And of course, you make the gravy in the mash. Of course, it's not potatoes, right? You know that. It's not potato mash, but it's still creamy and delicious. You make the mash and the gravy, and then you serve it with whatever you want. Roast chicken, maybe you're doing it with turkey meatballs, maybe you're doing it with broccoli and asparagus, so it's a completely vegan affair. It's completely up to you, but it's an amazing recipe. Check it out, Bridget's Kitchen. I shared it this morning, so if you go to Bridget's Kitchen page, you will see it will be one of the first posts that pop up probably after this video. So there you go, guys. Yay! So excited to be able to share my 5-minute Korean style beef salad, good pickles, cucumber, sticky sauce. Doesn't get better than this. Beautiful day here in Sydney. I'm going to go outside and enjoy the day with Mr. Husband, who's been doing such a wonderful job. I will let him. I'll share. I may not have a choice. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday, and I'll see you guys on the weekend. Take care.